Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here. Thursday, the 15th of October, 2020. And let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here and take a look at what's going on. First thing we're going to take a look at is the silver price. Now, it's 24.09 right now. It's down 17 cents. I'm going to tell you guys where it what. Let's look at this logically. Let's pick it apart logically, We know some entity called Satoshi has put away 1 million bitcoins. When they were basically free, you could just mine them with an old Pentium computer. You could get like 1 bitcoin every 2 seconds, a whole bitcoin every 2 seconds with an old Pentium computer. And so they got 1 million of them. And, the price was really cheap, like 2 cents a piece. They might have bought another 1 million, So there's a lot of bitcoins out there someplace. Some places, big wallets, massive amounts of Bitcoin. And I don't think it's in China. I don't think those bitcoins are in China. And I don't think they're over in the Asian countries. That's not where I think they're being held. But what is being held over there in Asia and in the Chinese countries and China specifically? 1 kilogram gold bars. Quite literally vaults full of them. Thousands and thousands of 1 kilogram gold bars. Tens of thousands of 1 kilogram gold bars. Real assets being stacked in these vaults. What they did was for years there, they were taking the gold from the West, and they were shipping it east, and they were resmelting it into these 1 kilogram size gold bars. And so now, when you take a look at this, and you think to yourself, hey, what's really going on out there? What's really going on? The basics of it is the West has got the Bitcoins, and the East has got the gold. Now, I told you guys that there's going to be a war between gold and Bitcoin, which is going to be the big king of the... Well, I'm thinking to myself now, it's going to be both. And what's the big loser out there is going to be these fiat currencies like the dollar and these currencies. And it's already begun. It's already working. What you're seeing is a separation of the financial system right now. We have parts of the financial system that they're just basically letting die. And they're letting it disappear. But there's other parts of the financial system that they're keeping up and keeping running, And observe what's going on in your local community. What's most of the activity happening around? Well, drive-through restaurants, like McDonald's and the big ones, Wendy's and these different ones, the drive-throughs. People are going through the drive-throughs and getting food. The grocery stores are all open. People are going in and getting food, And this is part of the economy that they're keeping going. But other things like retail stores, shopping malls and everything, they're all closing up and everything, Well, how does this relate to the fact that China's got all this gold and America has got all these Bitcoins, Well, Bitcoin is the electronic equivalent of gold, and the Western financial system is actually much larger than the Eastern. If you take a look at the dollar is a world reserve currency, So they got the gold, we got the Bitcoin. We don't have enough gold to cover all of the potential dollar usage of the dollar and all these other Western European fiat currencies. We don't have enough gold to go around, But we got enough Bitcoin to spread across. And the thing is, this is a bizarre situation, The fact that a digital asset is coming on so strong in the West, whereas in the East, they're putting their resources, including Russia, China, Iran, these countries that are blocking together over there are putting their resources behind gold, as part of their structure. And they've basically separated, going on for a number of years now, they've basically somewhat separated their financial system from the financial system of they've got their own equivalent of the SWIFT system. They work with gold. So gold's never going to go out of style. It's actually becoming more money over and now there's a race going on right now between the central bank digital currencies of the West and the East. Which one's going to get in there first? Neither side wants to get outdone. So look for these digital currencies, central bank digital currencies, coming very soon. But the way I see it, these central bank digital currencies, ultimately, in the end, they're going to have to be backed by something. Whether it's Bitcoin or whether it's gold, they're going to have to be backed by something ultimately in the end, or their demise is going to be the same as the dollar. And in fact, as they bring these central bank digital currencies out, this is going to move toward undermining and making the dollar go down quicker. The dollar and all the other fiat digital currencies, not digital, but fiat currencies, it's going to make them go down all the quicker. When the dollar starts to go down, it's going to carry all the rest down with it. And, they're going to want to hop into something. There's not enough gold to go around in the world, Chinese now are trying to hoard silver. They're starting to hoard silver. They're buying the big dory bars up, and this is happening right now. And silver is the most vulnerable market. Remember the Hunt brothers tried to corner the silver market. And, just a few billionaires in the West could corner the silver market. And so we're working in a precarious world here where I think that gold and silver both, and Bitcoin, all three of these asset classes are going to become the backing behind the currencies, ultimately. This is where we're going. And more so, it's going to be gold over in the Eastern currencies, like the yuan. And over in the Western currencies, I think they're actually going to use, or at least try, to use Bitcoin as a backing. Well, you remember when Greece was running into trouble years ago, and their finance minister made a big joke, an April Fool's joke. He said that they were going to use Bitcoin as the backing for Greece, and he said they were going to turn to Bitcoin. Well, if he had of, back then, Bitcoin price, I think, was nothing compared to what it is now. The Bitcoin price is up. It's up. I should look it up and find out what the price was when he made those statements, that April Fool's joke about their country was going to use Bitcoin. I should look it up and find out what the Bitcoin price of it was, but I know it was a heck of a lot cheaper than it is now, and they would have done good. He shouldn't have made it a joke, the Greece would have done good comparing what the currency value is. Greece would have been way ahead if it hadn't. But I think that this might not be a joking matter at some point in the future anymore, because all these fiat currencies, they're all worth value zero. All they are is paper, and they're not even paper anymore. I mean, at least paper has some use you can use it for. You can use it for lighting your fire, or you can use it as toilet paper, or whatever, But what they're made of now is these polymers. And they have no practical use whatsoever for these polymers that the bills are made of now, And so the net value of them is absolutely zero. Unless they're backed by something. And, in a kind of a system where everything runs properly and they only release a limited amount of their fiat currencies, they could keep fiat currencies going for a long time if the system was structured properly. But that's a pipe dream. It's not. The system's not structured properly. And so ultimately where we're going with this in the end is they're going to have to back these fiat currencies with something of value. And there's really only Bitcoin and gold. There's the two main things that come to mind of value that they could back a currency with to give the currency value, And which way will it go? Well, analyzing it, the West doesn't have the gold. So they'll have to use some other sort of substitute for gold, because they don't have enough gold to back all of their fiat currencies with. China's got it all. So China's got enough gold, they can back their fiat currencies with gold, and so does Russia. Russia's got enough to back theirs with gold, but not over here in the West. Over here in the West, if they do back it with gold, heck, they'd have to take the gold price to like $100,000 an ounce, to have enough gold to back the Western currencies. But they got Bitcoin. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. Let's look at the silver price, 24.11. It's up down 15 cents today. Why it should be down, I don't know. Gold, it's going down because the stock market's going down. That's why. Gold is at 1903. Gold's not down, though. Really, not that much. It's up $2.40. Silver is the most vulnerable of the two. Silver is more vulnerable than gold because what I mean vulnerable is the supply-demand issues. And now the fact that China's buying these Dory bars up, which is the bars that they have to use to make anything in the industry. You can't make a cell phone without it, guys. You can't make a television without it. Not that they really need to make all those things now because nobody's really buying. Nobody's getting money to buy. But the Apple stock keeps going up. This is crazy though, But today Apple stock's not going up. We've hit that thing where they're waiting for more stimulus measures, more stimulus before the price starts to go up on any of these stocks again. I think they're going to continue their downward trending until we get more stimulus. Cryptocurrencies today. Cryptocurrencies are not really losing very much value. We're looking at $361 billion for the industry, 58.5% Bitcoin dominance, and a Bitcoin price of $11,464. It's been hanging in there over the $11,000 mark for a number of days now. It's doing really well. It's not taking as much of a hit as gold and silver when the market's going down. That's interesting. In a multitude of ways, that's interesting. What it tells me is investors out there would rather sell their SLV and GLD, their paper gold and silver holdings, rather than let go of their Bitcoin. Seriously. They would rather sell their paper gold and silver. To me, not that the paper gold and silver is really worth anything. I see in the end, I see a total separation between the paper and paper price and the price on the COMEX and the spot price and stuff. Total separation between that and physical in the end. And it's going to be a joke in the end. It's already starting to become a joke, But how far can they go with that? If you want to buy an ounce of physical silver and the price is $100, and the spot price is still only $24. I mean, it starts to get ridiculous in the end, Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average today, and we're down 127 points. I'm surprised it's falling so slowly. This is what's surprising me. Looking at it over the 5 days, we can see it. The decline started at 1:20 p.m. on the 12th. That's when the decline started, and it's continuing, and I think it's going to continue until we get the new stimulus package. That's the only thing running these markets now, is stimulus from the Federal Reserve. So if the Federal Reserve wanted to pull away all support, there'd be no support for the market. It would just keep falling. Crude oil, $40.26. It's down 78 cents on the day so far. Now, bonds and rates, we're looking at a mixed bag. We got a few yields rising, we got a few yields falling, but we're looking at a U.S. 10-year at 0.72, and we're looking at a 30-year at 1.49. So I said a week or so ago, I said they're going to keep the 10-year at 0.75, and they're going to keep the 30-year at 1.5, and that's where they're keeping them, and right close, and we're close to that today. So that's why I put my picture up every day. Let's take a look and see what my picture is today. Let me expand the page a little bit so we can see this. They're buddies, Look how much bigger that mountain lion's head is than that little cat. He got his arms wrapped right around him. It's almost like he's a hat. It's like he's wearing a hat. Let's take a look now. Come back to the charts again. We'll take a look at the U.S. dollar index. 93.84 in the U.S. dollar index. They're buying into the dollar. We can see that. Now the markets are starting to fall a little bit. There's an awful lot of people out there thinking, hey, deflation. And they're still buying into the dollar. I've been saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it until, as long as I need to keep saying it. They can create as many of these dollar units as there are leaves on all the trees and all the trees in the world. That's how many dollars that they can create. And we've already been told this by the Federal Reserve Chairman. It's unlimited. I think he used the exact word, unlimited, the amount that they can create, right? So why on earth are they hoarding these? There's going to come a flipping point at a certain point where, where the economy's separated. You get the Main Street economy, which is dying, and they're letting parts of it die, and the only thing that's really running out there is fast food restaurants and the grocery stores are basically the only, you drive down the street, that's the only place all the others, the shopping malls and everything are just not getting any business. Now they might pick up a little bit of business here around Christmas. And that might be their big hopes, coming into the Christmas season. I think it's going to be an awfully poor Christmas season. But after Christmas season is over, I think that's going to be the death knell for all of these retail businesses and stuff. Stores are going to close left and right and center. And, the jobless claims in America, this last week, I think it was 900,000. It keeps adding up. I mean, it's like every week it's like 900,000, 800,000, 900,000 more. And, no end in sight. And, I mean, ultimately, in the end, where are we actually going with all of this? It's actually very scary, plus, we got an election coming up, so there's an awful lot to talk about. I've said before, the closer this election is, the worse things could be. It's going to take an awful lot of heat off the situation, out there. If there's a massive landslide victory for either side, that'll take some heat off of the situation, because then it's a clear winner. But I mean, we could go into some sort of a situation where the votes are so close that it might take months and months and months. Will they keep recounting and recounting and recounting and contesting and America, I mean, at this point, there's so much frustration out there that it could just explode into whatever, Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.